The single most important matchup, I think, in this series is Amen Thompson on Steph Curry. If Amen Thompson is giving Steph Curry problems the way that we saw earlier this season when Steph only had 3 points, the Warriors are going to be in a world of trouble.
Amen Thompson is undeniably a talented player, no question about it. But let's be honest, when you've got someone like Stephen Curry on your team, there's a whole different level of advantage. Curry's presence on the floor shifts everything, making life a lot easier for anyone around him.
Curry, three, oh! He'll dance, he'll throw up a shot. Oh,
are you kidding me?
Geometrically, that should not have...
Let's just take a moment to appreciate this. Stephen Curry isn't human. Seriously, the way he plays makes even the richest athletes and the best players in the world react, like fans sitting on the bench. That moment right there perfectly sums up Curry's performance against the Houston Rockets. In Game 1 on the road, facing the second seed in the West and one of the toughest defenses in the league, it was clear who would rise for the Golden State Warriors. Stephen Curry. He's the Batman to Jimmy Butler's Robin, and with a duo like that, the possibilities are endless. There's no ceiling for this team. If you haven't realized it yet, it's time to wake up. This squad can beat anyone. And with all due respect to Amen Thompson, one of the league's top defenders, I'm never going into a playoff series thinking Curry won't deliver. It doesn't matter who the opponent is, who's guarding him, or what analysts like Stephen A. Smith are saying. Honestly, it's not Amen Thompson's fault. How do you even guard a guy like Steph?
Thompson comes out on Curry, three, pulls out.
Even Jimmy Butler, one of the greatest to ever play the game, couldn't help but watch from the bench in sheer disbelief. What we saw from Stephen Curry in this game was nothing short of legendary. Dropping 31 points, grabbing 6 boards, and dishing out 3 assists, Curry's performance was off the charts. But honestly, those numbers don't even begin to capture the full scope of what he did. He posted all of this on a true shooting percentage close to 80%, with just 2 free throws while battling one of the toughest defenses in the league on the road. And let's be real, this defense wasn't giving him an inch. Yet time and time again, people have to remember, it doesn't matter who's guarding him. Stephen Curry will always find a way to be Stephen Curry. What made this performance so complete was how Curry broke down the Rockets' defense at every turn. Take this play, for example. Curry starts with Eason guarding him, but after a quick switch, he finds himself facing Brooks. A quick screen from Poole gives him just enough space, and while Brooks tries to push him off the three-point line, Curry simply uses that room to attack the rim. That became the theme throughout the first quarter. The Rockets played tough, physical defense, trying everything to keep Curry from getting to his spots beyond the arc. But Steph adapted. He used their momentum against them, just like in this sequence. Curry passes to Jimmy Butler, gets it back, and with both defenders rushing him to prevent the three, he effortlessly takes them off the dribble and finishes at the rim. And then there was the moment when Steven Adams found himself on an island 30 feet out, trying to guard Curry, rather than settling for an easy step-back three, which he could have hit in his sleep. Curry drove right past Adams and finished with authority. This is where Curry's versatility becomes unguardable. If you think you can slow him down with a big lineup, throwing Adams or Sengun at him to force him off the three-point line, you're only setting yourself up for failure. Steph will just attack the rim. Another key to Curry's brilliance is how his teammates like Jimmy Butler and Draymond Green seamlessly complement his game. Take this play. Curry's off the ball, but a perfectly timed screen from Jimmy opens up a clear path to the basket, leading to an easy finish. Curry's first 5 buckets of the game all came from inside the arc. He used his handles, strength, and finishing ability to exploit Houston's aggressive defense. The Rockets kept pressing, trying to keep him from getting open for threes, but the thing is, it didn't matter. Curry was still finding a way to shine. This is why I'll never doubt Steph Curry. No matter what you throw at him, he's going to adapt and find a way to make it work. And we've all heard it before, right? Think back to the NBA Finals, remember? When Drew Holiday, Derek White, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and even Al Horford were supposed to slow Curry down? An elite defense with versatile wings, aggressive guards, and a switchable big. Did any of that faze Steph? Of course not. He cooked them all. Let's not forget, Rockets head coach had to sit back and watch as Curry knocked down shot after shot, solidifying his place as one of the greatest to ever play the game. He erased any doubt about whether any defense could stop him or even slow him down. So with all due respect to Amen Thompson and the Rockets, I've seen enough of Curry to know one thing for sure. No matter the opponent, no matter the challenge, he's going to deliver, and let's be real. How could you ever doubt Steph when the Golden State Warriors don't just have the greatest point guard ever, but also the best player on the floor? Oh, and let's not forget they've got Jimmy Butler too. I just spent 5 minutes talking about Curry, but I could easily spend another 5 talking about Butler's impact.
Jimmy Butler's performance in this game was nothing short of a masterpiece. And honestly, at this point, it's just what we expect from him, especially come playoff time. Look at that box score. 25 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, 5 steals. Elite defense, clutch shot making, and playmaking. Another reminder of why Jimmy is one of the best in the game. I just mentioned it, but this was a true masterclass from Butler. Take a look at this play. First, he slides over to help with the Shengun pick and roll, then seamlessly rotates back to Jabari Smith on the perimeter. As Pod steps in to help, Jimmy's basketball IQ kicks in, rotating back to Shengun and getting a hand in the passing lane. Then, there's this moment. Shengun casually brings the ball up and Jimmy, lurking like a defensive mastermind, swipes it away. What follows? A game-sealing dunk, of course. This is exactly why the Warriors have become the top defense in the league since trading for Butler. We all know Draymond Green's defensive brilliance, but let's be clear, this isn't a team stacked with elite
defenders across the board. It's a squad built around 2 of the greatest, Green and Butler, and their combined defensive impact is paying massive dividends. When you have 2 of the sharpest defensive minds in the game, Draymond Green and Jimmy Butler, your team is built on smarts and strategy. These 2 are basketball savants, and everyone else just needs to fill in the gaps. Take someone, like Brandon Pimsky, for instance. He might not be the flashiest or the best one-on-one defender, but his basketball IQ is through the roof. He's willing to sacrifice his body, he's a strong rebounder, and most importantly, he knows where to be and when to be there. With 2 elite defenders like Draymond and Jimmy on the squad, the whole team just has to be in the right place at the right time, on both ends of the floor. On offense, when you've got Curry and Butler, it's not just about scoring. These guys create opportunities for everyone else. All you have to do is be in position, and they'll find you. But what really stood out to me about Jimmy's performance, especially with Curry on the bench, was his playmaking. Check this play. He gets a steal, then transitions the ball quickly. With defenders all eyes on him, he finds Pods wide open in the corner for a clean 3. Here's another example. Yes, matched up against A, Jimmy drives baseline. As Brooks helps. Over. Watch how he hangs in the air and finds Santos wide open in the corner for a perfect shot. This is the beauty of Jimmy's game. He doesn't just create scoring opportunities for himself, he sets up his teammates for easy looks. Let's really break down the concept of Jimmy Butler's gravity, because it's one of the most underrated weapons in his arsenal. We often hear that term used for great shooters like Steph Curry, where defenders are pulled out of position, just by the threat of a shot. But with Jimmy, it's not just about scoring. His gravity comes from his ability to do everything. He scores, he defends, he reads the game like a chess grandmaster, and that forces defenses to overreact every single time he touches the ball. You saw it in action all night. Even when Jimmy doesn't have the ball in his hands, defenders are constantly worried he might flash to the rim, step into a mid-range shot, or make a perfectly timed cut. So when someone like Brandon Podziemski comes off a simple screen, defenders hesitate for just a second, just enough time for a layup. That's Butler's gravity at work. He bends the floor in his favor and lets his teammates thrive in the gaps he creates. Now pair that with Stephen Curry, and you've got a combination that's practically impossible to defend. Curry's shooting stretches the court like no one else in basketball history. His movement off the ball makes defenses dizzy, and when they finally catch up to him, he's already found the open man or finished at the rim. These 2, Curry and Butler, are like a masterclass in offensive pressure and composure. When one draws attention, the other attacks. When defenses collapse on Curry's 3-point threat, Butler exploits the space, and when they load up on Jimmy's physicality and playmaking, Curry punishes them with effortless range. That's what makes the Warriors incredibly dangerous right now. They don't just have one superstar, they have 2 who are proven winners, elite playmakers, and fearless in the big moments. It's not just about points on the board. It's the way they lead, the way they control tempo, and the way they force every defense to constantly adapt. and usually fail. Let's not forget, these aren't just any playoff games. These are the moments that define legacies. And so far, both Jimmy and Steph are writing chapters that belong in basketball history books. You've got Steph dropping buckets with nearly 80% shooting efficiency while being hounded by elite defenders.